Hi, it's Whale Shark. We got some Legend Bowl coming at you. I am going to start a franchise and we are going to sim through some seasons. So the first thing I did was in my franchise, I went under settings, then franchise. To adjust these, I changed the player pool down to 275. I don't really know what that's going to do, and I did not bring in current records and stats. So I'm going to go franchise and create a coach. I'm using the default coach. I put Whale Shark as my coach. And as I was looking for a team, I was looking for a bad team. And it just so happens that the Miami Sharks are the worst team. So you know what? We have to rebuild them and see what we can do. I mean, I guess this is my family's team. And so we're going to take it over in a brand new football league. So there are no records, no nothing. So let's take a look at the roster. Just at first glance of this roster, we have a lot of 80-ish players. Overall ranking, no real superstars. And the age is medium. I mean, we're not really an old team. We're not really a young team, but we're not a great team. So we're going to sim through the first season and look to try to make this team a little bit better. I'm starting the sim now, and I did turn off all mid-season events. So we get to the end of the season here and just see if we make the playoffs. And unfortunately, we do not. But that'll give us an earlier pick, so it's not completely bad. So now let's take a look at the awards for the year. And I did start this in 2000. I let you pick a year to start a franchise. So I just picked 2000. And they're the award winners. We got some Rookie of the Year, offensive and defensive. So this is the first round of the playoffs, the teams, and we'll take a look at the season standings. And we finished the season at 7-9, which isn't too terribly bad for a team that was skill ranked 32nd overall in the league. And now we'll take a look at some of the stats from the season, and we'll take a look at our team stats. So our quarterback had an okay-ish year. Not too bad. Our running back had a decent year. I mean, 1,100, almost 1,200 yards is pretty good. Our wide receivers, our quarterback didn't have the greatest year, so they don't have a lot of catches or anything, but not too bad. We'll look to improve some of those positions in the draft or through free agency. And then defensively, we need to get a pass rush going. We didn't have very many sacks. And only 2 interceptions for our team leader, so we need to improve that defense. Overall, here are the individual quarterback stats for the leaders. So a little over 5,000 yards and over 30 touchdowns. Most of the leaders have here. And rushing. So 1,700 yards for the league leader, and then the league leader in touchdowns has 14. And in receptions, so 90 is not too bad for the top guy. The yards, and then the touchdowns. And we got the tackle leader. And we'll take a look at the sack leaders. And the interception leaders of season 1. Now we'll sim through the playoffs and see who will win season 1 of the Legend Bowl franchise. Newspaper clipping, and the Washington Eagles are the Legend Bowl champs of the 2000-2001 season. And then we'll get to see their team photo. Now it's off to the off season. These are the off-season retirements. Players retire or potentially retire after every single season. Now we're going to move on to the free agency. And through free agency here, we had a couple offers. We did not have any free agents. I declined most of the offers that we received because they weren't really that much better, didn't improve the team. And then we're going to move on to the progression, and each player progresses or regresses depending on their age. So here's our current roster, and it looks like we have a couple stars on our team now, especially at left defensive tackle. So we're not looking too terribly bad right now. So going into the draft, I'm just going to look for the best available player that's not a left defensive tackle and see if we can improve this roster, and especially for the future, try to get younger and build this thing up. So we're going to go to the draft. The first draft of the Legend Bowl. I'm going to sim through the computer picks, and then we get to our pick. And these are the overall rankings of all positions coming down. I'm going to take a look at our roster. I like this defensive end. We have good left defensive tackle. So we might want to pair that up and just get solid on that side of the defensive line. And he's 20 years old, so he'll be young. Keep him for a while. So the first pick of the Miami Sharks is Lampe. With our next pick, I'm looking at this right defensive tackle. He's one of the next top players on the board overall, and why not just get a strong defensive line? So we're going to draft Dipple along with Lampe as the first 2 picks, get a good defensive line for the future, and we'll try to build around this. And then going forward into the next pick, I think we can use another left tackle, so we're going to take a look at what's available there and bring in a left tackle. And then proceeding on, we're just gonna look for any position that might be able to help us out right now. And we could definitely use some cornerbacks, so I think we're gonna take what we think is gonna be the best cornerback to help us out. Maybe not a star, but at least a placeholder, and he can progress a little bit, and then we can try to find some better ones later. But we need to get a little bit better at corner, get some depth at corner. So I think we're going to draft this fella. So now we're just going to try to get some more just depth across the board. Think we can use a receiver. So we're just going to try to fill in that, get a decent receiver, and again, over the next couple of seasons, we'll try to upgrade that position as much as we can, but we're just going to take one now, hopefully a young one. If we have choices, we'll take a 20 or a 21-year-old, so we can maybe get a couple more years out of them. They might progress a little bit more. I'm not sure how the progression all works in this game, but we'll find out, and hopefully they'll get better, and we'll have a serviceable wide receiver for a while. I think here we're just going to try to take an outside linebacker and improve that position, get a little bit younger. And here we're just trying to get overall younger and get some replacements in there. Maybe they can grow a little bit and get rid of some of the players that are going to regress and get some ones that are going to progress. Skip through the computer picks and it's back to us now. And I think we're just going to try to improve quarterback, get a backup. This is not going to be our quarterback of the future, but it'll be our future backup. Just because they were getting old and they're not that great. So that was the end of the draft. They were our players, and we're heading off to the next season. Thank you for watching. I will put the next season out within the next few days. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow, and we'll go through a couple seasons possibly in that video. We'll see how it goes. I'll get a little bit better at this as time goes on. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I will catch you in the next one. Till then, play some Legend Bowl.